Hey, my name is Jackson Rudolph, and this is the taping workshop for the MCAA 570 class. All right, this is the ankle wrap. Normally I would start with a top lace pad and a bottom heel pad, but since I don't have those, I'm just going to start with a pre-wrap. So a nice light layer of this pre-wrap. Going round, around, around. Not too high up the foot. And we'll bring it on back. Boom. All right. Now we're going to start with a distal anchor. Not too high up the foot. Boom. Distal anchor, and then we'll get a nice 2 proximal anchors. There's one on the skin, one a little lower. Stubborn tape. All right, next we've got medial to lateral stirrups. So starting medial to lateral to prevent that ankle rolling over and in. Medial to lateral. Let's see if it snugs firm. There we go. That's 2. We got one more. To lateral. Boom, we're going to anchor those down. I'll usually double wrap the anchor. Hopefully do a little bit of a better job though. Make sure it's all run flat, looks good. I'll put my heel locks in usually now before I do any more cover up. And right before I do my figure 8. Heel lock 1. Medial to lateral as we do. Medial lateral. Heel lock. Then we'll get a nice figure 8. We'll start on the lateral, pull under the foot medially. Boom. Pulling under the foot. Letting it come. Oop, I'll go around the back. Around the front. Up and under. Around that back. And then one more. Up to the top. Boom. Now we're going to cover. Right. That's good. Right. Should all run smooth. And then I like to add one more distal anchor just to make sure everything stays nice and closed up, but I start at the base and don't quite cover all the way to the top, so it keeps a little bit of added mobility there. And that is the ankle wrap. Thumbs up. All right, this is the arch support tape job. We're going to apply a little base pre-wrap. Start a little bit higher up than we would with that ankle wrap. Here, normally I would apply a little bit of a stretchy base, but since I don't have that tape, I'm just going to use the athletic tape as that base. And what I'm going to do, instead of covering the top all the way, I'm going to squeeze the foot here and just give a little bit of looseness since I don't have that flexible tape. Go ahead and pull that toe up. Perfect. I'm going to use the 1-inch tape. I'm going to create those little teardrops under the foot, starting at the base of the big toe, working around that heel. Let's see if I can get this tape. Here we go. All right. Starting with the big toe, pulling down through the arch, down, 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 wrapping around the heel, but not up to the Achilles. We don't want to put too much pressure. Pull up. And finish where we started. Now we're going to start moving down. To the next toe. Apologies if you hear my barking dog. We're going to follow a very similar trajectory there across the back of the heel. Pulling up, up, up. Ripping the tape. And finishing where we started. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Boom. Pulling down, down, down. Across the heel. Ripping the tape. Finishing where we started. And then finally, 1 more. Pull, pull, pull. Finishing where we started again. Sorry for the barking dog. Obi, be quiet. All right, now we would normally use that stretchy tape again for that anchor over the top, but I do not have that tape, so I'm just going to use a tape, and I'm going to go nice and light across the top here. And then we're going to cover up without closing the top. So keeping the top nice and open, letting that foot be able to expand when they step on down. Boom. Missed the application spot on that, so I'm just going to pivot up a little. Boom. All right, this is the tape job for the medial tibial stress syndrome. I've been taught a little bit differently, so I'm going to use the tape job that I was taught. It's the spiral. So you're going to get the A-tib, get that tape right up underneath. You're going to pull the A-tib across so that it sits flat against the tib. You're going to rotate, and you're going to spiral down the calf. A little less pressure at the base of the gastroc. Again, pulling tight right across the top here. and finishing that tape right on that medial portion of the tibia. We're going to go ahead and do that 2 more times. Pulling tight across the top. Now relaxing the pressure around the base of the gastroc. Light, 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 light. And now again, once we get across the base, you're pulling tight across the tib. And then 1 more time. Pulling tight, tight, tight across that tib. Relaxed around the gastroc. And then again at the base here, pulling tight, tight, tight. Finishing up. Now here I would use that stretchy tape again for an anchor here and an anchor here just to keep that tape laying down. Alright, this is the tape job for the buddy taping of fingers. We're going to tape these 2 fingers together here. What I normally do is I'll get a piece of this athletic tape. I'll rip it right down the center. A little bit of a better width. That way we're not going to affect... that way we're not going to affect the knuckles if we can keep that kind of a thinner piece of tape. So sometimes we'll put a little pad in between the fingers here, but a lot of athletes I've noticed don't really like that. So we start low here. Not too tight, because we want to make sure that there's capillary refill in those knuckles. Get it around that pinky there. And then we'll get that last one. Kind of along the higher part of that joint. Again, not too tight. Alright, looks pretty good. We'll check that capillary refill. She does have painted knuckle or painted nails, which makes this a little bit tougher. So I'm going to go a little bit higher above the knuckle. And we're looking good. Alright, this is the wrist tape job. So we're going to start off with our old friend, the pre-wrap. Nice and light. Go 1, 2. Then we're going to go through the hand, open that thumb up, perfect. And right through the hand there. Looks good. Next, we are going to do a proximal anchor. Not too tight, so that when she makes a fist, there isn't going to be too much pressure here on the forearm. I'll do one more cover up because that wrist is, or that first proximal anchor is a little higher than I would normally go. All right, that looks a lot better. Now we're going to angle towards the pinky here to start. So we're going to loop through. We're going to pinch the tape. As it comes through, pinching the skin, making sure that there's enough room. Letting that tape run flat. Going back over. Tearing at the base. Going around the back of the thumb. And we're going to do that one more time. Go ahead and lay that flat. Perfect. Slight, again, angle towards that pinky. Wrapping around. Pinching that tape. Pinching the skin so that there's enough laxity there. And then that tape. And then we cover up. So the cover-ups will anchor down. And should make that tape job look pretty.